Let's get started with the conflict in Gaza and the situation in the West Bank right now. It seems that Israelis are intensifying their attack on the West Bank. What's going on in your opinion?
Well, I think if you remember right after October 7th, when Hamas and other Palestinians broke out of the concentration camp in Gaza and committed atrocities in neighboring areas of Israel, one of the Israelis referred to what was going to happen as Nakba version 2.0. In other words, this was seen by some in Israel as an opportunity to complete the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, which is the basic premise of Zionism. You remember that Zionism began by declaring that there was a land without people for a people without land, namely the newly invented Jewish people, who had been a religion and had suddenly become a nationality. Well, inconveniently, there turned out to be people there, Palestinians. And in the first Nakba in 1948, some 700,000, over 50% of the then population were scared, frightened, terrorized into leaving. Ever since then, Israel has been trying to finish that job, and usually by more less visible, less shocking methods. But in Gaza, it is carrying out a campaign of extermination of the residents. We know that, contrary to the figure that's usually bandied about, probably something over 200,000 Palestinians have been killed. 100,000 or so have been seriously wounded. There are people under the rubble who will never be found. And at the moment, about 20% of the population is on the brink of death through starvation. So this is an opportunity for Israel. The world is focused on what it's doing in Gaza, and it's taking the opportunity to accelerate the ethnic cleansing of the West Bank. It's all part of one pattern. Israel will not be comfortable until Jews are supreme in all of Palestine. My understanding is that Israel did bomb many areas in Lebanon for about 20 minutes, very early on Sunday morning, but I don't think it hit anything very much. Hezbollah has always been very honest in its acknowledgement of casualties. I believe it acknowledged 2 casualties. 1 or 2 missiles may have been actually destroyed, or perhaps they were drones rather than missiles. On the Israeli side, very interestingly and suggestively, at 5 o'clock in the morning, right after this attack, the Israeli government issued an order that there should be no reporting whatsoever in any channel about the damage that it had suffered in the Hezbollah attack, which Hezbollah has described as vengeance for the murder of Fuad Shukr, the deputy commander of the Hezbollah forces. And so it appears that the headquarters of Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, as well as the Israeli military unit responsible for signals intelligence, like the National Security Agency in the United States, were both struck. It also appears that a lot of the infrastructure supporting the Iron Dome defense system was damaged. But we can't know because there's been a total blackout on the Israeli side about the consequences of this exchange of fire, by contrast with Hezbollah, which has described what the Israeli attacks accomplished in Lebanon.